and welcome to Adobe Animate Lesson 1 Basics tutorial. This video tutorial is created with the Adobe Animate CC version 18.0.1 build 115 with the operating system macOS Catalina version 10.15.5. Now let's begin. So let's start with the lesson files. The files needed for this lesson are the following. We have a background PNG, which is this image here. We have photo 1, photo number 2, and photo number 3. We're going to use these photos for this lesson. Now we're going to launch Adobe Animate. So from the launchpad, we'll just click Adobe Animate here, and now it's launched from my desktop. And from here, we need to click File menu, then click the new, select the new button, and we have the new document dialog box. From here, we are going to select HTML5 canvas and change the width to 800 and height to 600 px. So just go slow in this lesson for you to be able to catch up with this lesson. Then click OK. The rest will just be the default settings. Then click OK. And you'll be able to see a white stage in this new Adobe Animate file. So from here we can change that background. Just change it to gray color. So go to Properties panel, and in the stage background color, click that one. And the default background color is for hexadecimal code is number 6F. So we'll just change that to 6 3s and enter. And now we have changed the background color to gray. Next to that, we are going to save first this file. And save. It's time to load. So for this lesson, we'll just change the file name to, and you need to locate the folder where you need to save. By the way, these lesson files we can download from Google Classroom Stream. Let's go and download there. Then we'll just rename this 01_working copy FLA and save here. Make sure your extension name is FLA and then save. Now we are going to import images to the library. So click File. Since we don't have the image yet here, it's just there. You can see we have timeline here, it's empty, stage is empty. So we are going to import the image which you have downloaded from Google Stream. So click File, Import, then Import to Library. And we have these 4 files here. These files can, as I have mentioned a while ago, you can download this from Google Classroom Stream. So we have background PNG, we have photo 1, 2, and 3. So just select all of that, then click Open, and you'll be able to see the files in the library panel beside the properties panel. It's your library panel, and the items are listed here. So if you click background, then you'll be able to see a thumbnail of that image from here. Just this one. Okay, that's the background image. This is photo 1, photo 2, and photo number 3. So the next thing that we need to do, we are going to drag the background into our stage. So pick background from the library panel, then drag it to the stage, and we'll just adjust this one. And so we have that bounding lines there, means it's already correct and properly placed. Just release it, and you will notice that from the timeline panel, the layer is named layer 1. Just double click and change that to background, then enter. And since we have other photos, we're going to place that one on top of the background. Oh, by the way, before that, we need to lock the background layer, and from the bottom of the timeline panel, you can see bottom left, you will see new layer. So click on that and rename it to photo number 1. Photo 1. So that's layer name. So we just drag photo 1 from the library panel, drag photo 1 into your stage. So don't worry about the positioning first, just position it somewhere here. Okay, you can adjust that one later. And we are going to add another layer. So since we have 3 photos, we can add the second photo on top of photo 1 layer. So go click the new layer and name it photo number 2. Enter. So this time we will not add the photo yet. Instead, we are going to create our first keyframe in the background layer. So as you can see, we have the timeline frames here. We have by 5, count by 5, we have 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on and so forth. And we can adjust the frames here by adjusting this one here. Okay, so you can see the frames clearly. You can adjust it. If I drag to the left, it will become very small, and zoom in by adjusting it to the right. So this is frame 50 of background layer. What we need to do is just select to frame 48. That is 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds, and select frame 48. Then right click on that, and then insert frame. And keyframes are added from frame 1 to 48. You now have keyframes there for the background layer. And also for photo number 1 layer, we're going to add keyframes. So select frame 48, right click there, insert frame, and also keyframe is created for photo number 1 layer. So we now have these are now the keyframes created inside of the timeline for background and photo 1 layers. These are the keyframes. For photo number 2 layer, it will be quite different. We are going to start from the first second. Okay, so a different process will be done for photo number 2. So in photo number 2, we are going to select frame 24. That's the first 1 second, at 1 second, frame 24. So from here, we are going to insert keyframe. Okay, right click, insert keyframe, and you will notice that there's an empty circle. That means nothing is in there. So what we need to do next, we're going to drag photo number 2 from the library panel, drag it to your stage, and that's photo. Adjust it somewhere here. You don't worry about the positioning, we can adjust it one later. So you can see here, this one now is black. That means this keyframe here is not empty. So to add keyframes there, we'll just go to frame 48 of the photo number 2 layer. Okay, so right click in frame 48 of photo number 2 layer here. As you can see in the timeline, right click and then insert frame. And so frames are created from frame 24 up to frame 48. So if we test that one, drag the slider here, see that one now is the first slide, the second slide appears on top of the first photo. So this is now the basic and simple animation from Adobe Animate. So if we play that one just quickly, at 1 second the second photo will appear. Okay, that's just a quick test. So since we are going to add another image there, we just adjust photo number 2 layer. For frame 24, we are going to move that to frame 12. So if you see that white bounding box or the white box in the cursor, that means you can drag it to frame number 12. Okay, so we are in frame number 12. As you can see, this indicator at the bottom, current frame, that's number 12. So you can see which this indicates the frame you are in. So that's frame number 12 of photo number 2 layer. So we'll just say what we have, file and save, and we can proceed to the next step. So for our next step, we are going to add another layer on top of photo number 2. So double click, I have created a new layer on top of photo number 2. Just rename that to photo 3, enter. Then we'll do the same process. Select frame 24 of photo number 3, right click, then insert keyframe. And since that's empty, then we're going to drag photo number 3 from the library panel into the stage. So click photo number 3, drag it into the stage, and that's our third photo. So this time there's no keyframe yet. Now you can see the keyframe. Okay, from here, keyframe is created from frame 24 to frame 48 of photo number 3 layer. So next, as you can see, we have 4 images here in our timeline, and we'll just organize them by adding a folder there. So we have this new folder beside the new layer button. So create new folder and name this one photos, and then just select 4 of this layer here, layers, background photo 1, 2, 3, and drag it inside of the photos layer. So now if you hide on that, as you can see, we only have 1 layer which contains inside the folder photos, and those photos are inside that folder bin. Now we have organized those files. So next we are going to position an object on the stage. So we're going to select frame 1 in photo 1 layer. So just show the one. Select frame 1 of photo number 1 layer, and then select photo number 1. So you will see a blue bounding box or a blue outline in the image. So this indicates that an object is selected. So using the properties panel, we are now going to adjust our photos. So in the properties panel, we can adjust the X and Y values. So X, change that one to 50, and Y, change it to 50. So this is the position of our image in the stage. So as you can see, it automatically adjusts to that. So we can go to transform panel, then change the transform panel is this one here. So change the angle value to -12 in the rotate box. So we have rotate box here. Change this one to -12, and it will rotate like this. So that's the position of our first photo. Now we are going to select frame number 12. We're going to make adjustment to the second photo, frame number 12 of photo number 2, and then click the image on the stage. In the properties panel, we're going to change the X to 200 and Y equals 40. So that's the position. And in the transform panel, we'll change the angle to 6, rotate it to 6 degrees, enter it. That's the position of our second image, photo number 2. For photo number 3, we're going to select frame 24 for this image here, and then we're going to select it from the stage. In the properties panel, change the X value to 360 and Y to 65. And transform panel, change the angle to -2, enter. So that's the position of our images. So as you can see, we can hide this one. As you can see, this is now the position of our stage. If you can adjust that, you can have this adjustment here for your stage. You can fit in the window. Select fit in window. Alright, so that's now our images inside the stage. This is the stage view. So let's just have a quick look at the panels. So as you can see, these are your panels here on the side. So you have align, info, transform, motion presets, and CC libraries. These are the panel groups. We can also expand. We can expand this panel, or you can collapse this panel. Okay, you have this button here, and these are the panel ducts. This one here. These are the panel ducts. We have also the tools panel on the right side. So these are the ducts containing panels to collapse icon. This one here. So this is the duct containing only the tools panel, and this is the duct containing the properties panel. Next, we are going to use our tools. So we now have inside our photos, we have 3 layers. We can hide that one. So we are going to create stars in our stage. So to create that, we need to, before that, we're going to lock this photos folder here, our timeline. As you can see, this one's here are locked. So we don't accidentally move anything into them. We could not resize them or change anything in that layer because it's locked. So next we are going to create stars layer. So you already know how to create a new layer. Click this new layer button, and on top of the photos folder we will be able to see another layer. Just double click and rename it to stars. Then from that layer, in the timeline, move the playhead to frame 36. Frame 36. Yeah, so there's an indicator here. That's frame 36. So select frame 36 in the stars layer, right click, and then insert keyframe. Okay, take note here we have insert frame and insert keyframe. So this time we need to insert keyframe in the frame 36 of the stars layer. So a keyframe is created. That means since the circle is empty, so that means there's nothing in there. And a new keyframe is created. So just adjust this one. Okay, so these are the photos layer. We have the stars layer on top of the photo folder. So in the tools panel, we'll select the polystar tool, which is indicated by the hexagon shape. So this is our polystar. So we'll click on that, and in the properties panel, this one. So you notice that the properties panel have changed. So we are going to set the fill. This is our stroke color. This is our fill. So for the set the fill to none. This is our fill color. Yeah, fill color set to none. You want to choose to none. And stroke color to yellow. Oh, sorry. Stroke color to none and fill to yellow. So I'm just change that. And select the options button in the properties panel. And from here we can set the tool setting style equals to star. Okay, we have the style. You can choose polygon or star. Just change to star. Number of sides 5, and yeah, the star point size just 50. Then click OK. And from here we can actually let's make sure that the empty keyframe in the frame 36 is selected. So make sure this one is selected. And now we're going to make multiple stars of different sizes with different angles of rotation on the stage. So now we can create stars here. As you can see, that's transparent. Okay, so since it's transparent, we change the alpha to 100. You can actually type it, or you can drag left or right to adjust the alpha or the transparency. Change that to yellow. So now it's 100%. Alpha is 100%. And just remove this one. Star. Okay. Now we're going to create. So make sure that frame 36 is selected. Then we can create stars in here. You can adjust it. Right. Just random creation of the stars. Or if you want, you can also follow how I created the stars. So just random creation of stars. So here, here, and here. Okay, random stars inside of our stage. So we're going to, as you can see, keyframes are created from frame 36 to frame 48 of the stars layer. So let's take a preview of our work. To take a preview, you can just drag the slider here and then play. Alright, so that's the basic animation that we created. Let's see, basic animation here. Click play. So here are some commands that I would like to introduce to you. If you want to undo one step, just press Command Z or Control Z for Windows, Command Z for Mac. And if you press Command Z multiple times, to move backward as many steps are listed in the history panel. So press Command Y to redo one step. To undo multiple steps, go to Window. So we have Window here, and then History panel. In the History panel, we can actually undo. History. So we have the brush history here. You can undo multiple steps here. Just the same way as we have history, this one, history, Windows history. So from here we can actually undo multiple steps. So let's say if we click this one or this one, you can go back to the previous steps if you want, just for additional information. So we are going to take now a preview or just test. Go to Control menu and then test. Let's see. So exporting. So this file is exported, and there you go. So it shows our basic animation from this browser. This is how our work played in the browser after testing it. So if we're satisfied with that, then that will be okay. We can close this one and go back to timeline. So you can see this is now this is the arrangement of our keyframes and our frames and the layers as well. In the document settings, we're going to modify the content and the stage. So we are going to set in the properties panel, click advanced. We have advanced settings here, so we can actually modify our stage from here. So we'll change, by the way, before doing that, let's just save what we have done so far. Save. Okay, now we'll go to advanced settings. We can change the width to 400 and height to 300 px. Then check the scale content box and click OK. So you can see you have the scale content box here. So just click that one and then click OK. So now our stage is reduced to lower size. Windows width 400 and height 300. So this is now resized. So we'll save this again. Click File and Save. Sorry, we'll resize it. Save. Click File, Save As, and we'll rename this. Since this is resized, we'll add underscore resized .fla. So we'll just save in the same folder and click Save. Click Save. So in the auto recovery, let's use the auto recovery for backup. Go to Animate CC, Preferences, and then from here go to Generals. You will see auto recovery, so just make sure it will auto save every 10 minutes. This one here. Then click OK. And that's it. We have created our first lesson in Adobe Animate, and we also have learned the basics of Adobe Animate. So in here, I'll just change this one to fit in the window. And thank you everyone for watching this video. Have a great day.